Welcome to Learning English with Captain Binoy Varakil, Assistant Professor, Department of English, St. Joseph's College, Varakil, Kozhikode, Kerala. I believe you are doing good, and I hope you watched the previous lecture on the Sonnet 29 of William Shakespeare, and today in this lecture we are discussing the questions and answers of the Sonnet 29. We discussed the previous lecture, and exam point of view, students must understand the fact that the questions will be coming from the very course book. So I'm just reading and explaining the questions given at the end of the poem Sonnet 29. Okay, let us just read and understand the questions. The first question is, quote any line from the poem that expresses the poet's hope. So we have the last couplet, the final couplet of the poem Sonnet 29 of William Shakespeare helps us to understand the fact that despite of this despicable condition, the poet is still hopeful. And the lines are, for thy sweet love remembered such well brings, that then I scorn to change my state with kings. So the last lines of Sonnet 29 show the hope of the poet, and the poet is consoling himself that he has the love of his beloved, he has the love of his friend, and with that love, of course, he is much wealthier than a king, and that shows the hope of the poet. So it's good that each of us learn the poem. Maybe we by heart some of the lines of the poem, especially those lines in the beginning or some lines from the middle or even from the end. And now we move on to the next question. Identify the figure of speech used in the lines. Haply I think on thee, and then my state like to the lark at break of day arising. Okay, so everybody knows the most important figures of speech, and often poetry is of course noted for the beautiful images and of course figures of speech, and in these two lines we have wonderful images, and one of the image is of course, rather one of the figures of speech is simile. That is, we know that what a simile is. A simile is a kind of comparison in which one object is compared to another object, and here we have the figure of speech that is simile. In all the similes we have a like we say that my love is like a red rose. My love is like a red rose. That is, of course, the person who is speaking says that his beloved is like a red rose, so beautiful, like a red rose. And here in these two lines, haply I think on thee, and then my state like to the lark at break of day arising. So here you have a comparison between the condition of the poet and the condition of a lark, that is a bird which is waiting for the daybreak, and the bird, the lark, is very hopeful of the daybreak, and similarly the poet is also hopeful that he has the love of his beloved, his sweetheart, and with the love of his beloved he is going to be fine, he is going to be happy, and his life is going to be all the more wonderful. And this is the first figure of speech. It's a simile. Haply I think on thee, and then my state like to the lark at break of day arising. Okay, so the bird is just waiting for the daybreak, and the bird is full of hope. Similarly, the poet William Shakespeare is also hopeful that he is going to have the wonderful love of his beloved. He is going to be united with his beloved, and his condition is also so beautiful, like the condition of the bird. And now that is the first simile. First figure of speech is a simile. Now we move on to the second. There is in fact another simile, that is of course a pun. P-U-N, pun. And what is a pun? A pun is in fact the use of a word with multiple meanings. And in this poem, we have of course a very important pun, and that is of course the application of different meanings to of course one word, and that particular word in the poem is state. And here again we have the word state. Happily I think on thee, and then my state, like to the lark at break of day arising. So then my state, here state refers to of course condition. State is my condition, my despicable condition, my pathetic condition, my downhearted, desperate condition. On one side, state, condition, my state of being, one meaning. And another meaning is of course my state. That is of course I am, if I have a state, if I am the king of a state, okay, that state. So here we have two figures of speech. One is like and the other is state, because we have the use of the word state at three positions, or three times we see the word state. And of course in the last two uses of state, the poet is just giving dual meanings or multiple meanings, and it is again another figure of speech. So the dominant figures of speech are similes and puns. Now we move on to the next question. Identify the figure of speech in the expression deaf heaven, deaf heaven. So it is quite easy to understand. We have of course the expression deaf heaven. In fact, we know that being deaf is often true in the case of human beings. Okay, you can say that he can't hear anything, he is deaf. He can hear or speak anything, he is deaf and dumb. So we have deaf heaven, deaf heaven. Deaf heaven is a figure of speech which is known as personification. Personification. What is personification? Personification is a figure of speech in which human attributes, human faculties, the abilities of human beings are attributed to non-human or inanimate objects and things and concepts and ideas. That is personification. So here we have deaf heaven. Heaven is not animate. Heaven is of course representing God. And deaf heaven is of course a heaven that cannot hear. And it is of course personification. Alright? Only human beings hear. The five senses, right? So deaf heaven is a personification. William Shakespeare is giving human qualities to heaven, and we have the meaning. God doesn't hear my prayers. I am in a pathetic, despicable, outcast condition, and God does not listen to my bootless cries. So deaf heaven is a personification. Now we come to the next question. What is the stanzaic structure of a Shakespearean sonnet? I gave you a very long lecture in the previous video, and in that of course we have seen the structure of Petrarchan sonnet and also the structure of Shakespearean sonnet. And we know that a Shakespearean sonnet is having a very special structure, stanzaic pattern, and we know that every sonnet has 14 lines. Sonnets are lyric poems of 14 lines, and Shakespearean sonnet is also known as English sonnet, and the stanzaic pattern, stanzaic structure of Shakespearean sonnet is 3 quatrains followed by a couplet. This is the answer. 3 quatrains of 4 lines make 12 lines, and we have final couplet 2 lines. So 12 plus 2, 14. It is very easy to understand. Now we come to the next question, that is, of course, answer the following questions in a sentence or 2. Examination, when you have to answer such questions, don't write more than 2 sentences. So the first question, what is the rhyming scheme of a Shakespearean sonnet? The rhyming scheme of a Shakespearean sonnet is AB, AB, CD, CD, EF, EF, GG. So AB, AB, CD, 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 EF, EF, G, G. Very easy. 3 quatrains, and a final couplet. Alright. A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F, G, G. Next question. What is the particular state of mind of the poet in which the poem was written? The particular state of mind of William Shakespeare at the time of the writing of the poem is insecure, troubled, despicable, and he feels like an outcast. And it is because of many reasons. One is because of the criticism of the university with Robert Greene. Number 2, it is because of the outbreak of the plague in 1592. So the condition of the poet is, the state of mind of the poet is insecure, troubled, despicable, and outcast. Next question. How does Shakespeare use lark as a symbol in the sonnet? Okay, it's lark is a bird which is waiting for daybreak, and lark is a symbol of hope. It is a symbol of optimism, and the bird is waiting for the sullen night to become bright or daybreak, and the lark is, of course, hopeful. It is optimistic. It is sure that the day is going to break, there is going to be light. And similarly, the poet, okay, is also hopeful that with the love of his beloved, with a union with his sweetheart, he is going to have more fortune, he is going to have more joy, and he is, of course, going to be very happy. And like the bird, the lark, which is praising God, singing praises, hymns to God, William Shakespeare also praises God because he has the love of his beloved. Now we come to the next question. Pick out expressions from the poem to show the poet's dejection. Initial part, the 2 quatrains of Sonnet 29 is just ornated with a number of expressions that show the poet's dejection. Number 1, in disgrace. Number 2, beweep. Number 3, bootless cries. Number 4, outcast. Alright, these are some of the expressions that show the poet's dejection. Deaf heaven, another one. Deaf heaven. Yeah, totally disappointed. God doesn't hear my prayers. Deaf heaven. Now we come to the next question. Comment on the imagery of the lark. The poet William Shakespeare in Sonnet 29 expresses a very, very despicable condition, outcast state of the poet because of criticism, because of the 1592 outbreak of the plague. But end of the poem, everything is resolved with the beautiful imagery of the lark, a lark which is being shrouded by sullen night and darkness, is hopeful that very soon it will be morning, and very soon it's going to be dawn, very soon it's going to be the day. There is going to be a daybreak, and the lark, which is hopeful of the daybreak, is singing praises to God. And that particular imagery of the lark is, of course, a very powerful image. William Shakespeare is also as hopeful and optimistic as the lark, which is praising God early in the morning, because it is going to be day soon. So it is a very good image, and the poem is ending on a hopeful, happy note because of the powerful use of the beautiful imagery of the lark at break of day. Next question. Explain briefly the final couplet. The final couplet we have, it is about, the final couplet is about the love of the poet's beloved, and it is the fact that the poet William Shakespeare admits the fact that his life is going to be richer with the love of his beloved. And let us just read the last couplet. For thy sweet love remembered, such wealth brings, that then I scorn to change my state with kings. So when I have your love, O my beloved, when I have your sweet love, my state, my country, my condition is much better than that of kings. Okay, now I'm in a despicable condition. Now I'm, of course, in an outcast condition, but very soon I'm going to be united with you. And when I'm united with you, I am sure I'm going to be very, very happy and hopeful, and of course I'll be so content and satisfied. And I'm sure at that union with you, my state will be, my condition on one side will be much better than that of the condition of kings. Another, I will be a king, and I do not want to, of course, exchange my state of being with you with an emperor or a king. Beautiful. And now we come to the next question. That is, of course, answer the following questions in paragraph of 100 words each. So I'll be just giving you some points for these paragraph questions and the essay questions, and of course we have to elaborate those points to the right answer. So first question, evaluate the poem as a sonnet. Previous lecture we studied that a sonnet is a 14-lined lyric. A lyric is a song or a poem that is sung to the accompaniment of a lyre. So there are different types of sonnets: the Petrarchan sonnet, the Shakespearean sonnet, which is also known as the English sonnet. And we know about the stanzaic structure. Of course, Petrarchan sonnet, one octave followed by a sestet, and English sonnet, we have 3 quatrains followed by a couplet. And there is one more sonnet that is, of course, known as Shakespearean Sonnet. And now we are blessed to learn the wonderful poem or sonnet 29 of William Shakespeare. And of course, you can just mention what is the theme of the sonnet. The sonnet is just about the despicable, pathetic, dejected, desperate condition of William Shakespeare. Okay, and now you can see what happens in first quatrain, second quatrain, third quatrain, and final couplet. Okay, now we move on to the next question. The word state occurs thrice in the poem, 3 times in the poem. How does the meaning of this word change with each occurrence? Okay, we have the word state in line number 2, line number 10, and line number 14. Line number 2, I all alone beweep my outcast state. My outcast state refers to the condition of William Shakespeare, very, very desperate, dejected, forsaken by friends and family and everybody. He is in deep trouble, and that is the meaning of the first expression, state, outcast state. Number 2 is in line number 10, and haply I think on thee and then my state. That is, perhaps I think of you, my beloved, my sweetheart, and when I think of you, my state. That is, of course, my condition is just like a bird, that is a lark, and that lark is singing praises to God because it is going to be daybreak. Similarly, okay, I am also like a bird, a lark. I can also sing praises because very soon I am going to be with my beloved. And now we have, of course, the third use of state, and that is in fact the last line, the final line, that then I scorn to change my state with kings, right? So this state is, of course, right, the kingdom of the poet. Poet doesn't have a kingdom, but he has a kingdom. He has the feeling of being a king with his beloved's love, and he says that he doesn't want to exchange his kingdom with the real kings who have kingdoms, right? So he says that he feels like a king, or he feels much and more blessed than kings. So these are the three different meanings of the occurrence of the word state. Okay, you can also just write, if you don't get enough words, you can also write about more about the sonnet and how the meaning is more and more, meaning is evolving, okay, as the poem is progressing. And now we come to the next question. The sonnet was composed in around 1592. If we assume that the speaker is the poet himself, find out the possible reasons for the speaker to be out of favor with fortune and men's eye. Very good question, and this is in fact a question that helps us to go back to the historical reasons for the particular sonnet, sonnet 29. We know that there are many reasons, right? And the most important reasons for the making of sonnet 29 is, number 1, the criticism of the university wits, to be very precise, Robert Greene, the university wit, was of course criticizing William Shakespeare for he was finding fault with the plays Shakespeare wrote. He was also finding fault with the dramas, the performances, right? And he just criticized Shakespeare for not being a university graduate or postgraduate like the university wits, and this criticism of his contemporary playwrights and university wits affected William Shakespeare. He was shattered and battered by this criticism, and that is one of the possible reasons. Another possible reason is, of course, the outbreak of plague in 1592. Because of the outbreak of plague in 1592, theaters were closed, no much of theatrical performances, no drama, no acting, no composition, no income, all right? And just like we right now are in a very pathetic, isolated, alienated condition because of social distancing and COVID-19, William Shakespeare was, of course, just abandoned and given up and alienated by his friends and colleagues and family and all, and he was, of course, in a despicable condition because of 1592 plague. And now, of course, we come to the essay questions. Comment on the theme of the poem and describe the changes brought over the mind of the speaker by the sweet memories. So, of course, the sonnet 29 is about being hopeful, is about being optimistic, and you can say that we will, of course, have a lot of painful, depressed and desperate and abandoned kind of experiences in our life, and Shakespeare is also undergoing such kind of a despicable outcast condition in his life because of many reasons, Robert Greene as well as 1592 plague, outbreak of the plague. But okay, so whenever we have such kind of forsaken experience, we should not give up. We shall not give up. We will remain hopeful. We shall remain, of course, optimistic that wonderful days, happy days are very close. They are coming. Like, of course, Shelley says, if winter comes, can spring be far behind? We have such kind of optimism. And just like the bird, which is just singing praises to God at daybreak, the poet can, of course, sing praises to God because the poet is having his beloved's love. He has, of course, a lot of memories that his beloved has given him. And of course, these are some of the ideas. Now, of course, we can just write about what is a sonnet, the features of a sonnet, what is special about Shakespearean sonnet, what is special about this particular sonnet. With that, we have a wonderful essay. Thank you very much for listening, and God bless each of you.